This is BakuBrad96 back with another Bakugan Geogan Rising deck profile. For this deck profile, I thought I would try things a little differently and go with a singular Bakugan, and that this time being Dragonoid, So this deck profile features nothing but Dragonoids, and they all have the peculiar ability of Victor Scan. So I dubbed this deck profile the Scanning Dragonoids. But before we get into the deck profile itself, I want to remind everyone that 83% of you watching are not subscribed, so do me a favor and click that subscribe button because I do put out daily deck profiles that I think everyone will enjoy, as well as giveaways that are monthly and unboxings ever so often. So very fun and very cool constant Bakugan content that I think everyone will enjoy. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. But if you like Dragonoids, click that like button too, because I think this is a very fun deck profile. I don't know how competitive it is, but like I said, it is nothing but Dragonoids. So we'll slide everything around and we'll take a look at the characters first. Starting off with Arless Dragonoid, of course. Double Helix, B power of 600, 6 damage, which is very nice. And Victor, you get to scan. So it was on top, you all saw it, you all know it, and this is starting off the deck profile. Next up, I do have a Darkus Dragonoid. It has a orange shield and Helix core, B power of 600 as well, but this one only has 3 damage. It does still have the Victor scan ability. Finally, I did go with a Haos Dragonoid, which is double green fist, B power of 600, 4 damage, and Victor scan. So very neat that all of these Dragonoids do have the scan ability. I'm very interested to see how that plays out competitively and how well Dragonoids do together on the same team. So the core lineup is as follows. For the green fist slots, I am running 2 traps this time, not 1 but 2. That being the -3 damage core. I personally definitely don't want to land on these, but if the opponent does, it is a very good strategy and a good trap if it works. Next, I have a +300B regular shield or orange shield, a +300B power and +3 damage helix, and then finally, I am running the +600 B power -3 damage because you do want that higher B power. They're not the strongest, being they all have 600, so I at least want to get them up to 1200 when I need to. Damage isn't a huge deal in this deck because you just want to win the brawl. Damage comes later. Before we get into it though, I do want to show off the characters. Not much to show off, they're being all Dragonoids. They do have little manual arms here. So this is the Haos one. Then we have the Arless one. Very cool. And if I can get the magnet to hit, there it goes. The Darkus. So all core Dragonoids, very neat team. For the Geogan of the deck though, I do have a Haos Sluggler, Arless Stardox, and for the Darkus Geogan, I did go ahead and decide to run Montrapod. Of course, there is no limit to the Geogan you can run in a deck profile currently. I just choose to run 3, and I do match factions if possible. That's just how I personally like to do it, but I always say do it however you want when deck building, as long as you abide by the official rules. And as of right now, I'm pretty sure there is no limit to the Geogan, so if you want to have a deck full of Geogan, go ahead and go for it. I know I have considered building one myself, but I have not done it yet. Let me know in the comments down below if you would like me to build a only Geogan deck profile. Definitely would have to be a Aquas, Ventus, and Darkus because that is the most I have. But anyway, I just thought that might be a fun deck idea. Don't know if you would like to see it. Moving on with this deck profile, however, We are going to start things off with my favorite card, Body Crusher. 1 energy for -4 damage, and you get to scan. Which, with all the scanning the Dragonoids are doing, I thought I might as well add that as well. Then we have 2 Crushing Shadows, 1 energy for +200 B power and +1 Frost Strike. Go ahead and slide the Bakugan back here so I can get the cards on camera. 2 Super Shot, 1 energy for +300 B power. 2 Thunderbolt, 1 energy for +3 damage. Whenever I run Arless, I'm always going to have this one, and you all know that watching. Body Breaker, 2 energy for Battle Mastery. You get to choose one, either +300 B power or +4 damage. Following that, I have Darkus Destroyers. 2 energy for Baku Gear, that gives a Bakugan +200 B power, +1 damage, and Shadow Strike. Really like that card. Then I have Darkus Petrify, 2 energy for -5 damage. Light's Courage, 2 energy for +400 B power, but Domination. If your Bakugan hold the most Bakukores, it's +800 instead. Might come up because I do run a few, like I do have the Consort action card in here, so it could come in handy. Then I have Scarf Strike, 2 energy for +500 B power. Getting into the Geogan of the deck, it's Stardox, 2 energy for B power of 800, 4 damage. If it lands on a Green Fist, it gets +600 B power, and if it lands on an Orange Shield, it gets +6 damage. So depending on how you want to use this Geogan with the deck profile, this deck profile currently, you could use the -3 Green Fist for a B power win, or try to win with your cards and use an Orange Shield for damage. Either way, you could go either way, so I thought it was a safe add. Then there's 2 Throw Anything, 2 energy for +400 B power and Shadow Strike. You gotta admire that Shadow Strike. Your opponent not being able to reduce your B power or damage is very important, especially in this deck when the Bakugan aren't the strongest. Then I think I have a newly card to debut. It's Arless Laser, 3 energy for Baku Gear with Shadow Strike, 200 B power, and 2 damage. So I don't think I've ever put this in a deck profile before, so this is a new one to see. Haven't quite used it yet. That is Halcor and Serpentine fused in the artwork, which is really nice. I do have that Bakugan. I might put it in a deck profile in the future as well, but for now we're keeping things Geogan Rising. After that is 2 Consort, 3 energy to attach a Bakugor from the field to an open Bakugan. Enough said, it's just really nice at stealing your opponent's cores or placing your own where you want them. The second Geogan of the deck is Monsterpod, 3 energy for a B power of 1000 and 10 damage. Just pretty nice, just really solid, nice Geogan there. And that 10 damage, you gotta love it. Righteous Strike, 2 of, 3 energy for +6 damage, and you get to draw one. Also has the Trifecta ability. If your Bakugan have 3 or more Bakukores attached to them, you may return this to your hand. So you could recycle it. If not, it is a pretty big damage boost when you need it. The last Geogan I'm running in this deck is Sluggler, 3 energy for a B power of 1400 and 7 damage. Big ol' Haos Slug Boy. Next up is 2 Trailing Dragon, 3 energy for +200 B power and +4 damage. If you energize this from your hand, you can pay 2 to draw one. That won't come up, but you definitely just want that damage and B power boost. After that, I do have a single Hack Attack in the deck, 4 energy for +7, and then Arless power. If you have an Arless Bakugan, choose a player to discard a card. So this really is just in there for the damage effect, and flavor-wise, because I am running an Arless Dragonoid, why not? Some more Baku Gear with Light Burst Cannons, 2 of, 4 energy for an armor rating of 2. When this flips from your deck, you may pay 2 energy to put it in your hand. Otherwise, it gives a Bakugan 300 B power and 3 damage. A very nice, solid, competitive Baku Gear card for Haos, in my opinion, and that is why I use it a lot. For those quick B power plays, we do have Raging Claw, 4 energy for plus 800 B power. The same exact reason for running Fast Fusion Ray, it's 5 energy for 1000 B power, and it has the if you energize this from your hand, you may pay 2 energy to draw a card effect as well. So very good, just a quick way to raise that B power up really high later on in the game so you can get those wins out. Silk Bolt Barrier, 5 energy for 900 B power, and you get a scan, keeping along with the scan theme. And then finally, to wrap this deck profile up, I run the one of Arlen Accelerator because it is an Arless deck. Well, it has Arless Dragonoid in it. 6 energy for a Bakucrew with an armor rating of 4, 400 B power, and 4 damage. So that'll do it for this deck profile. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I will be getting those videos out a lot better, on a better schedule, hopefully. I was under the weather, as some of you already know, but I am feeling a little bit better, and I am trying to get things back in routine and uploaded. So thank you all for the patience. You know, the channel is growing even while I was out, and that is amazing, so I definitely want to keep the content coming for everyone. But thank you all for watching again. Hope you all have a good rest of your night or day, depending on when you're watching this video, and I will see you next time. Remember, Bakugan Brawl.